Why if my son liked pink and I didn't like pink because I said it as a feminine color, the school said, well, gender doesn't have any color. But then for some odd reason...
Good evening. Thank you everyone for this opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here today because I am concerned about the current and future state of our education system. I am a Miami native and a product of the MDCPS system. I'm also a gay man, and as a gay man, I understand the importance of a healthy and balanced education. I understand the importance in diversity of thought, and ultimately, I understand the importance of unbiased development. What is happening right now is no longer acceptance. It's no longer the support my community needed in the 90s and early 2000s. It's indoctrination. I do not use the word lightly, but it's the truth. The children deserve an education that will develop them, give them a platform for critical thinking and problem solving so that we can push and create a better future. What we are pushing right now is not that. We are moving in a direction that will create entitled, confused, depressed, and potentially dangerous adults. Providing support and being accepting is very different from promoting and encouraging a certain lifestyle. Growing up, I had people who supported me and loved me unconditionally. I also had people who disagreed with me and maybe disliked me because of my sexuality. Not only was that okay, but it was vital to my development. Not only I learned how to interact and find common ground with anyone and everyone. I learned that it's okay not to agree on everything. Legislation and policies do not encourage positive change. People do. If you feel LGBT youth need more support, support them yourself as an individual. There are plenty of private organizations that provide youth with things like counseling.
Please, let's not applause. Thank you.
Counseling, community, and financial help are available to LGBT youth. Parents must be in 100% control of their child's development and education. The education system has been hijacked by people who push their agendas disguised as social justice warriors. I am gay. I am not oppressed. I am not being attacked. I'm not abused. Please treat me the same as everyone else. I remember when we were fighting to be equal, and now we're fighting to have an entire month celebrating my sexuality and parades. I don't need that. I really don't. That is exclusivity. That is not inclusivity. I don't want to be excluded. So please treat me the same as everyone else. Okay? One day I will have children, and they will definitely not be attending a public school, and I'm going to work my butt off so that I can put them in a very nice school.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, you saw what you had to see. Gay men coming out saying that, you know what, it doesn't make any sense because you're not actually helping people, but you're just using it as an agenda to promote something that does not need the promotion that you suggest. Because the danger that you're suggesting that exists is not as ample as you assume that every man or 1 in 3 people that you meet on the street is homophobic or something like that. But let's talk about the points that he mentioned, the entitlement. The entitlement is dangerous, that the things that gay people would say on the street, most cis people would not bother with it. Why? Because we don't create a specific issue because it's not a human right. We have issues. I don't go to a disco, meet people that look weird in my direction, start looking weird back, screaming, hey man, it's my human right, what you gonna do about it? Knowing the ideology is so expansive and the whole community is protecting you anyway if you're gay or not, because nobody thinks it's normal to do something like that. You went outside alone later, half drunk. Who did you meet? Those half drunk people or even drunk. Guess what? Something might happen. As a cis man, I would never go challenge a bunch of people drunk at a party, because even the most nicest person, happy, chill, can have a bad day and just wants to beat some people. This happened in Barcelona. And guess what? Then they tried to beat him up. They actually beat him a little and he fell and landed on his head on the crosswalk. Bam! And he's gone. Everybody was using this story to be like, hey man, we need more LGBTQ rights. But then they realized, wow, he actually was challenging people, being very disrespectful, and when shit hit the fan, ended up very bad. I don't agree with that those people exist, but you need to accept they exist and know there's consequences when you open your mouth at the wrong moment. So you feel entitled. That is dangerous. And sometimes, like this guy was talking about, you feel entitled because these things can happen. You can go talk to my kid behind my back, medicate him, help him with depression, send him to a psychologist, and then when I meet my kid, you're gonna be like, your kid is sad. I'm the parent now. You're the caregiver. How does that make sense? That is dangerous. And these people from the LGBTQ that are opening their mouth right now, they're like, yo, you guys are pushing something when you're not even LGBTQ sometimes, and you make us all look bad. And the confusing part, dude, you have lesbian kicked out of the LGBTQ because they have a penis. I can just walk on the street, say I identify as a woman, go to a woman's bathroom, and if they ask me, hey man, we need to confirm your Facebook, that's transphobic. How does that make any sense? Not only is it confusing, I have entitlement and they will treat me better. Then guess what? I don't want to go to a men's prison because I don't want to experience something going in my body, if you get what I'm saying. So I better identify as a woman. And I have to give my daughter karate lesson, because imagine if one day she goes to a woman's prison. She might be locked up with a trans woman and she might come back pregnant. Oh. People defend this. Like, it's bad. You didn't care when men were getting ramsacked in prison, and now when, oh my god, just because he identifies as a trans woman, we need to send it to a woman's prison? Why? And now the depression part. You don't understand unconditional love. You need to love only the people that you agree with. That sets you up in problems because that doesn't exist. Disagreement is super vital for your mental health. You need that. That is how you build. You're like a child. You're still growing, but suddenly you're like, you know what? I know this and I'm never gonna change. You're setting yourself up to be depressed the rest of your life, and I still need to fix it, or you're gonna snip that yourself, and then that's my fault too. You're depending on legislations, policies that needs to fix the whole situation, that needs to set up, that is labeling everybody in the category, and I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And there comes a point that you just get too tired. People are getting tired. People are starting to not like LGBTQ. And the reason it's becoming a bigger issue, I don't know if you saw that group, it was a bunch of women. You don't touch any woman's child. And I'm surprised that people that usually don't have a child, usually all the LGBTQ that give classes, it's like, hey man, I know what's better for your child. How does that make sense? What I am noticing is that the people that support this ideology are noticing, hey, this thing is not going very well. We need to push more until they stop it. But the more you push it, the more the frog that you put in a heating pan with hot water is gonna notice, hey, if you boiled me slower, I won't even jump out. But now that you're boiling it a lot, I'm gonna jump out. And that's why more and more people are be like, yo, what? No. Wait. What are you doing? You know, they're waking up in the way that if we push you back, you don't have a common ground. You just want to be right. So if people are going to start going to public school, what you're going to say? Oh my God, you're transphobic or gayphobic or homophobic. Everything has an issue. All these ideologies are connected with the social justice. I'm taking care of my health. You're fat phobic. I don't like to eat banana. Oh, so you want the human right to die because climate change and we need a car with the batteries, but because the fart of the cows are destroying the air? There's always something, and people are getting tired. All I can say is just you do you. But if you respond with aggressiveness, you're gonna get aggressiveness. As a Christian, I never respond with aggressiveness, and most people don't like me. You know why? Because I know if I react aggressive, I'm gonna get aggressiveness back. But as the LGBTQ people, keep pushing in that direction and scream that I don't jump in front of the gun to protect you because we cis people are privileges. No, I have a purpose. I have babies. You don't. Go adopt one and maybe you might understand what I'm feeling. What people are forgetting why this is so dangerous, because they keep saying nothing has a gender. Gender is a social construct. Okay, let's say I agree with you. Why if a baby wants to sit and pee, you're gonna be like, he might be a woman. Why are you replicating how to be a woman when being a woman is a social construct? Because by that logic, no gender should exist, right? Why if my son liked pink and I didn't like pink because I said it as a feminine color, the school said, well, gender doesn't have any color. But then for some odd reason, A few months later, you're dressing my son as a princess because you want to explore all these social constructs. I'm like, why? Why can my son just not choose a social construct? Why can my son not scream like a gangster by himself and you tell him, hey, don't act that dangerous. That's a very negative feeling. And I looked at them like, yo, this is a natural thing. I'm not a screamer. But if he wants to be a gangster, don't label my son like a misogynist and you need to change him and dress him like a princess. That's the problem that I have. It's not that you want to guide people. It's that you create the rules and you can justify what is a woman and what is a man. You create a way of thinking that if people receive pressure, they can be, you know what, I don't want to be part of that. I guess I'm gay. I don't want to be part of that because even men don't like me. I guess I'm non-binary. Even if I don't want to be part of that, I'm going to be a trans. And I'm like, why? And then you're going to go to a gender that you can cut somebody's parts off when they're 16, when they keep saying we're not doing that, but you're doing it in secret for the safety of the kids. You have programs that support the kids. You move them for them to feel safe. And when they're there, you do everything you want with them. You suggest this, puberty blocker, this. Puberty blocker doesn't have a side effect. And it comes up, it does have a side effect. You change them. Bone density changes. It damages like an old person. Brain doesn't grow properly. You're an experiment. And I'm trans or anti-LGBTQ if I want to explore this option in a safer way for safety. And I'm the one against LGBTQ?
I think I actually enjoyed having what I had. Really shouldn't have happened, full stop. I didn't want it, but they kept asking. And I was also getting therapy at the time. And they said, if you don't want surgery, we'll have to discharge you. And I was like in the middle of therapy with them. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, then fine.
Come on, people. It's way more disingenuous that you pretend that you care. But I'm just caring. But if you detrans, we don't want to promote your story because that's against our agenda, even if it's bad for your mental health.
It's very, very difficult for any one of us to speak out because there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of harassment. I've used the internet for, I'm kind of immune to it. Like,
people, this doesn't make any sense. And you're damaging way more kids. And we're going to have a community in the future that is depressed, cannot even make any babies. That actually makes me believe, yo, maybe you really want to depopulate this planet. But it's a conspiracy too, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I don't think I'm going crazy. But if you disagree, let me know. Because that's the point. We need to be able to talk. Like, share, hit the bell notification. And let's normalize talking back and forth. Not one side shut the F up.